Hello everyone. I would like to talk about sound today, and I would like to describe the sound components and how they interact with each other, because the most important thing on the violin is to make the violin sound beautiful, because I don't think there's any instrument which can sound quite as beautiful as a violin, but also I don't think there's any instrument which can sound quite as terrible as a violin. And my teacher, Ruggiero Ricci, always used to say, you have to sound good, otherwise nobody's going to want to listen to you, and he's right. So let's talk about sound today. Officially, there are three sound components. There's what is often referred to as pressure, but I prefer calling it weight. That's the weight of the bow on the string. You can have lots of weight or very little weight. The reason I prefer calling it weight is because pressure easily creates tension, and that's what we don't want. While as weight we have plenty of, because first of all the bow has its own weight, that's around about 60 grams, which is often too much in the lower half. We have to carry the bow. And then our arm has a lot of weight, much too much weight, so we have plenty of weight at our disposal. So I like calling it weight. That's the one sound component. The other sound component is speed of bow. You can pull the bow slowly, or you can pull it fast. The third sound component is point of contact. We have a lower point of contact, that's if the bow is closer to the fingerboard. That sounds like this. Or we have a higher point of contact, that's if the bow is closer to the bridge. And these three sound components, they interact with each other, and usually you can't change one without changing the other. For example, if I want to play with a high speed of bow, that doesn't work with a high point of contact, because you get ponticello. That doesn't work. The same thing the other way around. If I want to play with a low speed of bow and a low point of contact, that's hardly a sound. The same with the weight. A low point of contact needs very little weight and a high speed of bow. And more weight needs a higher point of contact and usually less speed of bow. So those are the three sound components: speed of bow, weight of bow on the string, and the point of contact. The point of contact is also dependent on where you're playing on the violin. Basically, if you're in a lower position, you need a lower point of contact. So if you're playing down here, my contact point is lower. If I'm playing high up on any string, I have to use a much higher point of contact because the string is so short. So basically the rule is, the longer the string that is vibrating, the lower the point of contact. The shorter the strings, particularly up on the E string, you need a very high point of contact. Now, to get used to using these sound components, I want to give you an exercise which is very, very good to get used to how the bow works and how sound creation works. What you do is start with a comfortable finger, perhaps first finger G on the D string. Ideally, you do this exercise with a different finger on a different string in a different position every day. But we'll just start with the first finger G in third position. And you start with a very, very low point of contact, very close to the fingerboard, with a high speed of bow and very little weight. And then as you play that, you gradually add a little bit of weight, and you will notice that your bow automatically goes to a higher point of contact. So you start with the lowest point of contact, and you add a little bit of weight, and immediately you go to a higher point of contact. And then you add more weight, slower speed of bow, and you will notice that your bow automatically goes to an even higher point of contact, even closer to the bridge. And you slow down the speed of the bow as you increase the weight, and the point of contact more or less adjusts itself. And you do that until you reach the highest point of contact with the highest amount of weight and slowest bow speed. And then you start reducing the weight a little bit, and you will notice that your bow will automatically lower its point of contact away from the bridge, and you will also notice that the speed of bow has to be increased. So you start with a very slow speed of bow, lots of weight, high point of contact, and then you reduce the weight a little bit, pull the bow a bit faster, and you will have a lower point of contact. Reduce the weight again, higher speed of bow, lower point of contact, until you get back to where you started, where you have a low point of contact and a very high bow speed with very little weight. So as you notice, the same note sounds very, very different. And you will notice that the point of contact automatically changes, and it's a good idea to practice that exercise. I'll play you the whole exercise without talking once, so that you can actually see what I'm doing. That's the exercise. Now this exercise should be done, of course, with all 4 fingers, so that you don't just practice the first finger, and more importantly, do it on all 4 strings, and also in all sorts of positions. First position, third position, fifth position, very high up. What I do is I do this exercise with each finger, so I do it 4 times. And I do that in a different position and on a different string every day. And that really helped me develop different sound colors and develop a feeling for sound and how the bow works. And the most interesting part is that the point of contact nearly always sorts itself out. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this exercise. Let me know if you have questions, and good luck.